Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Requiem of William Ravelowe, Prophecy and Sacrifice. This is episode 6. Previously on the on in this campaign, William found out that his memories have been altered by his sire, Josephine. So his good friend Nux, his child Rose, and Nux's wife Juliet went with William to Poland to try to find some lost Ordo notes, notes that were lost during World War II, and to be able to exchange those for information on where a kindred called the Keeper might be, who can help William go through his memories and establish a memory palace to help untwist his false memories and get back the real ones. So the whole coterie flies to Poland. They find another kindred. Well, they get in contact with a kindred named Dr. Frank, who supposedly knows how to get to these notes. Um, they Dr. Frank gave them told them they need to go to Kłodzko Fortress because there is some documents in that fortress that they needed to find that would help point them to where this train called the Nazi Gold Train might be hidden, because Dr. Frank believes the notes are on that train. So they go to Kłodzko Fortress. They run into a really weird werewolf with who also has two werewolves. They find a bunch of notes. A lot of them were destroyed, but what they did find was some notes on the, how is it pronounced again? The Race
Liza?
project,
Liza?
Risa,
Yeah,
Risa project,
I think. Really
which
ruined Star Trek for me, by the way.
which which included so that was all about the Nazis digging tunnels underground for easy escape routes and for transportation of goods and stuff. And the Nazi gold train supposedly is lost somewhere around these tunnels. And so they found notes on that, which did confirm that the train existed, that it did leave Vorklaw in May of 1945, 44, but that it never made it to its destination. They also found a folder of pictures of a bunch of people with red X's across them, and then 4 pictures with no red X's. That was a picture of William, Rose, Juliet, and Nux, all taken prior to them being a kindred. They then ran into some college students who were also happened to be looking for this train. Um, they met up with Kotspur from the Lost Ones to get some coordinates on the train because he actually helped dig those tunnels. And he points them to a werewolf who gave them coordinates. They went to those coordinates. There's a bunch of weird, like, feral zombie revenant things that just didn't look quite right, that had killed 2 of the college students. I think it was Brittany and uh
The Jock and the Princess.
yeah,
The
Brittany.
nerd.
Yeah, the jock and the princess. The nerd came running out, and William told him he needs to go hide in their car. And the gothy chick that knows Rose from when Rose was human was found in the cave, kind of like her throat sort of ripped out, and somewhat, well, it looked like it was ripped out, but she was bleeding a lot. Then William found himself in some kind of weird nightmare thing and was pulled out by a werewolf who punched him until he passed out.
Cause
He
I
woke
was the frenzy.
he woke up in a, well, you weren't frenzying. You were freaking out though because you thought you killed your mom.
I was gonna frenzy.
Okay. he saved you.
I'm
And
reasonable. I'm not. I manage my expectations. I know what I am. I know what'll happen.
you are now in a cottage in the living room where Eva Nora, the gothy chick, and is laying on a couch being fixed by a kindred woman who you don't know yet. And this big werewolf who you know as Pitor uh stood over you and said, "We have lots to talk about," while Nux is smoking in the kitchen with Rose and Juliet.
All right. And shall we get started?
I believe that covers everything,
Up to the minute.
unless I forgot something.
Yeah. Anybody in the chat, feel free to be like, "What about this?" All right. So, um, okay, let's do this thing. Set up on the couch. Okay. So, I'm guessing I was not all okay.
You looked like you were about to freak out.
Yeah, that's accurate. Ugh. Mind if I ask what happened?
You and your friends wandered into something you were not prepared for.
Can you tell me what that means?
Well, are you familiar with a locus?
Yeah.
Where you were freaking out, there is a powerful locust there that was captured by the Nazis in World War II, and they did many experiments with it.
Huh. Okay then.
There still seems to be a problem from whatever it was they did to it. It causes people to hallucinate, to see their worst nightmares come real.
That sounds. Whoa, what the heck? I'm sorry. The TV just randomly turned on by itself. It's haunted.
Ghosts.
Yes, ghosts. That was freaky. Jeez. Anyway. Okay. So, yes. Games exfiltrating my media. All right. So,
Uh, me and Celestine have been trying to fix this, but we have had little luck until recently.
recently.
I'm not very clear on how it all works. It's a more of a her kind of a thing than my kind of a thing.
Surprising. The werewolves I've known always seem to have a better idea of how these things worked than kindred do.
Well, it's the kindred who ended up screwing it up in the first place.
Fair enough.
But she can do this ritual that came to her in a dream.
Uh-huh.
But she doesn't have everything needed yet.
So what does she need?
She's in the room tending to Eva Nora. So you could ask her.
So what do you need for this ritual that came to you in a dream?
She turns to look at you. So it's weird because she's older looking, but she's very, very pretty. And
That's
like
not weird.
the dress she has, but like she's pretty in the way that she even looks young, even though like you can like when you first look at her she looks old, but she's very pretty. Um her dress is more like a tight fitting black kind of a almost sheer dress, and she's got like a shawl over
Oh,
her.
well, if she's got a shawl, I give like 70% odds that she's a crone.
So she finishes bandaging up Evanora's neck. Evanora seems to be sleeping, breathing, but shallow breaths. Um, so she turns to you and she says, I don't know if how familiar you are with how my covenant does things.
I'm mostly familiar with how it's done in New Orleans, assuming you are part of the Circle of the Crown.
Yes, I am. So they are probably more like voodoo. We are more rooted in the ancient pagan practices here.
Stands to reason. I'm assuming more based around spirits of the forest, sort of a localized variant of what the Celts would have called the Fae.
The spirits of nature.
Hmm.
Well, the way a new ritual can come about is you get a vision or a dream, or sometimes a scar will appear on you, and it will tell you certain things you need to do and find so that you can get a clear picture of what this ritual will be.
Okay.
The first thing I needed was to find people whose whose blood is tied to something to do with that worm's nest. Is that what you call it?
Now, how did you know that?
There are Ordo, well, there were Ordo long time ago here. Not so long in terms of, I mean, irrelevant to how long I've been around, but
Hmm.
in human years, a long time ago.
So, this worm's nest, this locust, has somehow been tainted by the Ordo, who were, as I've gathered, banished from the country, or at least ran for it when they weren't
Not
welcome anymore.
not necessarily tainted by them. It was theirs, but when the Nazis came, they took it.
So the Nazis tainted it?
Yes, they tainted it with the help of our kind
So you need
and
descendants.
of Pietor's kind.
I look with some
I
surprise at a werewolf.
It
Whoa,
was not me.
I, wasn't me either. So you need what? Descendants, blood relations of these people?
I am not positive. It wasn't clear yet. It should all come clear when we can find out more. But I was just told I needed to go to 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 those mines, the train tunnel there, and I would find the people I needed, and we found you and your friends and this poor girl here.
So you're theorizing, just theory, not certainty, that you require someone with blood sympathy to what went wrong there. to
It's not
somehow.
even necessarily the blood has to somehow be tied to that nest somehow, to that loci somehow.
All
But
right.
it won't be clear. The other thing we need to do is we have to try to figure out exactly what they did there, which is hard because the people who were there to do it are either dead or underground hiding.
Well, for what it's
But
worth, my
your friends told me you had some documents.
reach in my bag and pull out what we found.
Uh, Piotr takes them and starts looking through them.
For what it's worth, my sire was a Dragolescu, and I'm almost certain that she had something to do with the Third Reich.
Peter puts it down on the hands the papers back to you. There's nothing in there about what they actually did to the nest. It's mostly just about the tunnels. So
Well,
n-
go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Well, I mean, if you do I get a sense of age off of her, like
Oh yeah.
the potency?
Oh yeah.
She's acting like for an elder and a crone, she's being very humane to a mortal. So that's very surprising to me. I'm not saying it's out of character, that's just curious. Um which is
Seen some
cool.
things.
It's just
She's seen some things.
she's seen some shit.
Plus,
And
she said that she did say that she was going to need people, that she needed to go to that spot and there was going to be people there she needed. So,
you got me. That's a really good point.
I mean,
I didn't
maybe
think
she
of that.
does need to kill this mortal, but she doesn't know for sure yet.
No,
So,
I'm saving her for later.
yeah, so we
So why are you curing me? Oh, the count insists on everyone being healthy before they're broken. So Um, ugh.
oh, 15-minute dropout.
45 minutes since our test call.
Or yeah, sorry, 45-minute. I said 15-minute. There you go. All right. Hello.
Reporting back in.
Well, welcome back.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, so I didn't say that
No,
I mean
you're absolutely right. That's a wonderful point,
doesn't
and
mean
I
doesn't mean
you teach me my trade, Turkowski. Thank you.
pay
Okay,
attention
so
to every word that the character says.
this plays out through William's face like so. All right. Well, for what it's worth, I've learned that the acolytes tend to have some idea of what they're doing, even if I don't. If you had a dream that people were going to be
Uh,
there, and that very night we're there,
so when you're performing a ritual that you already know, yes, you know what you're doing. This is a new ritual. It's new. It has never been done before.
by anyone,
Well, it could have been done in other ways around the world, sure, and it could have been lost or could still be used, but done in different ways. But this is new for me. This
I
is a
see.
new ritual that I will make.
Well, if your intention is to straighten out this locus and somehow acquire some kind of passage through it, it looks like we're natural allies. Can we assist in some way?
Well, you're supposed to be able to assist. I thought maybe you would maybe you would know. or do you know how to find more about the things done there?
I mean, getting deeper in would certainly help. We
Unless you have a way of not falling into the trap you already fell into, protecting yourself from it, you can't go in there.
Well, let's see.
Is that all the research you had?
I'm trying to remember. It's been a minute since we played, so I'm trying to remember. Um,
The answer is almost right in front of you.
I know. I mean, we've got the girl. If she can be recovered enough to feel, I mean, are we willing to ghoul her? Maybe she knows some stuff.
Well, she might be sleeping for a while. Did she tell anybody what she
No,
knows?
mostly they were just trying to find the gold train. I mean, I don't suppose, looking at my coterie,
Well, there were two dead. Are they the only two?
no, there was also the fourth one. I was getting to that. Who hopefully is still waiting by his car.
Your coterie is in the kitchen. I mean, you can see Nux sitting in the chair, smoking his cigarette and talking, but they're not. They're not paying you any attention.
Let's see. I don't
They're
have
kind of
any.
like, this is his thing. Let him do it. We're chilling.
Oh, this is what I get for lone wolfing it. Um,
We're
let's
chilling
see.
now.
I think I could go pick up the other one that survived.
Well, no one. All right. Well, if you think you should go alone,
You're welcome to come with. That area could be crawling with revenants.
all right. She turns to Piotr and starts speaking in Polish,
I don't speak
which
that.
which I don't. I'm not fluent. I know some things, but what she's saying to him, I don't know how to say in Polish. So
You're in progress, and I'm proud of you.
he just nods and says "tak," and he goes back to sitting by the fireplace. Um, if you'd like to bring any of your friends with you,
Stand up. Am I feeling okay?
yeah,
Aside from being, undead.
yeah. Well, I mean, like, yeah, you were punched, but I mean, you're a kindred, so now that you're up and awake, you're fine.
All right, so head over to the kitchen, lean in. Anybody want to come help pick up the kid that I sent outside, or you good? You all good?
Oh yeah, why the hell not? He just puts his cigarette out.
Piotr, you want to come, or
No, Piotr has to stay here.
okay,
So Nux is coming with you. Juliet is gonna, and Rose will stay behind.
fine by me. All right, we'll be right back. How far? Where are we? How far
Okay,
away from each
so
other are we?
you're in a little cottage in the woods. It's not far from that park. It's not in the park on like lands, but it's close to there. Like it won't take you long to walk there. They were able to drag you out of the tunnels and to their cottage before the sun came up. It's not far. Uh, all right. So you guys head over to where the car was, but when you get there, the nerdy guy Maxwell, he's not there. Uh,
Alright.
the backseat door is open, and before, when you had peeked in to see whose car it was, you saw the Louis Vuitton bag, and so you knew it was Brittany's car, but that bag is gone.
But the car itself,
The car itself is still there.
uh, well, gonna do what Kindred do best and try to sniff around for signs of blood or violence.
Um, Perception?
Perception. Got it on my shortcuts. 8 with 8 again. Beware exceptional success.
Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta grab Nuxy boy. Okay. Okay. There's no blood that you don't there's no signs of blood.
Should we roll
Um
investigation for signs of disturbance and violence then?
oh, that's why I was having you. I guess we could have rolled the investigation, but that's why I was rolling perception.
He's all
But
good.
we'll go with the perception. It's fine. So you notice that it looks like um there are feet tracks. Like, it looks like someone had opened the car door, got out. Like, you could see the feet tracks turning around. Like, you know how you turn around to grab something out of your car. And then you see them start going off into the woods, but as soon as it hits like more of like grass and stone, kind of, the foot tracks disappear. But then you see the maquette kind of like standing, and like her eyes are closed, and you could see that she had put like carved like different kinds of runes into her palms,
You
and
mean
she's
the
like,
crone lady?
yeah,
Okay, I
what did I
wouldn't know.
say?
You said maquette. I wouldn't.
Oh, sorry.
That's
She's
cool.
my cat. She's a maquette. That's not a big secret.
And now we know.
And now you know. So you see the crone lady, Celestine is her name, standing with her eyes closed, and she's speaking in Polish while the blood drips down from her fingertips, and you can feel all of a sudden like a wind pick up.
She came with?
Yeah, she said she was going to come with you. Her and
I
Nux.
I missed that. Okay, cool.
She said she was going to come with you, and then Piotr was supposed to stay behind.
I got you now. I'm sorry, my fault.
Yeah, no.
Um, okay, so I'm
Um,
absolutely rapt watching magic happen.
so yeah, so and then you could see like a rapid wind picks up, and it kind of just like gusts forward, and like the blood that had spilled onto the ground sort of pools into a trail into the woods.
Cool. All right, let's follow the breeze.
Uh Nux is like, I'm gonna stay here for a real quick minute.
All right. Screaming abject terror if something happens.
Yeah. I just there's something there's just something weird.
Don't go in without us.
Nope. I'm gonna stay right here by this car unless something starts chasing me. Then I'm gonna run. But I
Well,
got my phone.
all right. I guess I'm going with our friendly neighborhood crone.
Yep. So she starts walking into the woods following the blood trail.
I'm right there with her.
She starts leading you deeper and deeper into the woods. The trees are getting thicker and thicker. Um, and you hear whispers all around you. and you start to feel like something or someone is watching you.
I'm gonna activate my ectoplasmic sight.
Okay. There are ghosts walking all over.
Like too many.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Ooh.
They're walking, some are screaming, some are crying, some are just staring. They don't seem to be interacting with each other. Uh,
Okay.
you get to as you start to walk a little deeper, you get to it's a little bit clearer here. It's not as thick, and there's a big stone in the middle of like it's sort of like a clearing, but it's still very small, like maybe only 5 feet by 5 feet. It's smaller, and in your ghost sight, you see it's weird. It's like all these ghosts seem to be stuck in one thing. And do you drop your ghost sight?
Well, I can see normally as
Oh, you
well.
can oh, you okay.
Yeah, it's
So
an
it's
overlay.
stuck in this thing, and you see this, like, black cloud with glowing yellow eyes rise up, and all of a sudden, um, Celestine starts, like, shaking, and it's like she's choking, and you can see the smoke is enveloping her, and she's being lifted up off the ground, and right then, you feel a tap on your shoulder, and I'm gonna need your
Initiative.
no. I'm
Oh.
gonna need your resolve plus blood potency.
Okay. My resolve is 4. My blood potency is 1.
All right, hold on. I gotta look up all of these on this other sheet here. Just bear with me for a moment.
Sure, sure. Like as a player, I think I know what I'm looking at, but as a character, I've only theoretically encountered this once, and it wouldn't have been like this.
It wasn't like this.
Oh. Good
You
choice
feel
of
a
music
tap.
too.
You feel a tap on your shoulder, and as you turn around, you lock eyes with Josephine. And as soon as she's got your gaze, she says, "My dear boy, what are you doing?" And suddenly, you're in a trance.
Shit.
So she's got you. You've got the memorized. Is it memorized condition? I think, or is
Mesmerized.
you're just mesmerized? Yeah.
Okay.
So you got the
Uh,
mesmerized condition.
I'm okay. So as a player, I am going to just do whatever the hell you say.
Hmm.
Um,
So she says, "You don't see anything.
I don't see anything.
All you did was walk into the woods with your friend here, and you found Maxwell." As she's talking, she like slits her wrist slightly, and she says, "Now be a good boy and have a sip."
Lean forward and suck at her wrist.
There's my good boy. I was not here. You still don't know where I am. Um, Suddenly you wake up, you're like out of your trance, and you're in the little clearing. There's a rock. The last thing you remember is walking into the clearing and seeing Celestine walk over to Maxwell, who was sitting at this rock poring over papers.
Gotcha. 2 quick questions.
Yes.
1, how many points did she feed me?
One.
Okay, then I must roll
And
6 dice.
well, so okay, so because according to the book, she needs to give you a vitae or anoint you in a vitae to be able to do the false memories.
Well, if I just drank a point, then I have to resist VT addiction.
Oh,
So
okay.
resolve plus composure minus the points, so that's -1. So that is 6 dice.
You're fine.
Cool.
So yeah, so you remember walking into the clearing and you walked in and there was Maxwell poring over his notes, sitting on the rock, holding a flashlight, trying to like figure things out, and Celestine walked over to him. And he's a little startled, but he recognizes you, so he thinks it's all okay.
Okay.
Is this the boy you were looking for?
Mm-hmm. Hello
You
again,
don't you don't
Maxwell.
you don't remember anything about the ghost
Mhm.
or any Josephine?
Hello, Maxwell.
Uh, William,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yes. Yes. Hello. He starts putting his stuff into the Louis Vuitton bag.
Interesting place to be going through your designer handbag.
It's not mine. It's Brittany's, but she made me put all of my stuff in it.
Huh. And where's she?
Well, you didn't you didn't see her when I came running out of the tunnel. Didn't you go in there?
Okay, you remember that. I'm surprised you left the car and surprised you stopped running when you did.
Well, I was only going to the car to get my things. I I just I just thought that I should go here.
Now, I put him under a nice, relatively long, like, dominate. So I'm going to.
Yeah, you did.
So why don't you tell Celestine everything that you know?
About what?
Just answer
I
any
mean,
questions.
I know many things.
Well, just answer any questions she has. You can trust her.
Um, she looks at you and she says, "Perhaps this would be better done at my home."
As you like.
All right.
Let's go get Nux and let's go get our car.
All right. So you get back to the car where Nux is. He's sitting there deep in thought, which that's not Nux. He's not even smoking a cigarette right now.
You okay?
Can I have a word with you?
Yeah. Step to the side with him.
I don't want to alarm you, but she's here,
Who?
Josephine. I can smell her perfume, and I can smell her. She was here.
I'm gonna try to reach through my blood sympathy and try to feel if she's near.
I
Under normal circumstances, yes. On the other hand, Josephine is Ordo with a lot of weird tricks, so
was
your
gonna
call.
say, okay. You don't sense her near. Like you don't even think she's in this country.
On the other hand, William also knows that he should be able to feel her near, but she's full of weird ass tricks.
Right.
So I'm not saying you're wrong, but you're not going to get any closer to her blood than me, and I don't feel her close.
Yeah, that doesn't mean she's not here. Anything weird happen out there?
Not that I can remember. That's not comforting anymore, is it?
It's not.
I'm not trying to metagame, but this is my whole mission. I can't remember shit right.
Right, yeah, no, you're not. I mean, yeah, you know that you don't remember things.
Um, I can't reliably answer that. I can't
What about
reliably answer anything.
them?
What about them?
Maybe they can.
I think they would have mentioned it.
Well, that's a little concerning. The 100-year-old vampire over there, Crone.
What, that she can't sense it?
Well, she didn't bring it up if she saw her.
Unless Josephine managed to her as well. I mean, we are Ventrue.
That's true. I don't think any of us should go anywhere alone.
I would say you were the only one who was alone, but you're also the only one who's bringing this stuff up, and that would give it away if she was here.
Yeah, why would she come to me and be like, "You smelled me here"?
Yeah, that's. But if she can do a whole group of us, then sticking together isn't exactly that much safer. Look, I'm compromised. If you, God, this is. I've never had an easy time asking people for help, and I
Well,
feel
William, here's the thing. You don't have to ask me, cause I'm just gonna help you.
no, I just never realized how I wasn't this arrogant before I changed.
Well, the
Is this the
change
blood?
does a lot of things to a lot of people, different ways.
Great. I get embraced by a Ventrue, and it automatically makes me kind of an asshole.
Of course, I was always this good looking
Well,
and
and now you
ruggedly
will be
handsome.
forever. And now you will be forever.
Yes, I will.
You big Billy Idol clone, you. Okay.
He got that look from me. So let's go.
I swear I heard that in a TV show once. Anyway. I see. So, yep, never heard of it. So, okay. Yeah, look,
Okay.
we can't trust what I sense or even what I remember. So, I defer to your good judgment.
Well, let's hear what the kids got to say. All right. So, since you have the keys to this car, Maxwell had the keys. You can take the car back to the cottage.
Uh, shall we say, like, he can drive Celestine and Nux and I can drive in the car we brought?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You left your car there. Yeah,
All right.
that's fine. Okay. So, you head back over to the cottage. When you get there, even Nora is still out. She lost a lot of blood, so put this one away. So many NPC character sheets all around me. Yeah, so even Nora is still sleeping, but Piotr moved her to a bedroom.
Okay.
And he's sitting there, and it seems like him and Juliet are having like some kind of deep philosophical question or conversation.
That's wonderful. That's some ebony and ivory shit right there. That's beautiful. All right.
Uh, and
So
Rose is on her phone.
naturally. So sit Maxwell down on the couch.
He plops down next to Rose, and she just kind of like scooches over.
I'm gonna tell him now. Answer any questions this nice lady has with absolute honesty. She's very trustworthy, and you know that you can trust her with anything you have to say. 1 second, please. I go over to um, Piotr and Juliet and say, "Hey, both of you might have some insights that I don't. Could you just keep an eye on me and Celestine and Maxwell? Just give us a little scan, whatever you got, because something I can't trust myself, and extra sets of eyes would be really useful if that's okay."
I don't think I know what you mean, but all right.
I don't know what I mean, and I don't know exactly what you guys see, but maybe it would help. Just keep an eye on us. I'm not sure the three of us can be totally trusted. All right. So come back and chill with what Maxwell is saying.
So Maxwell's sitting there. He looks over at Celestine. She sits next to him, and she says, "What, um, what can you tell me about that tunnel, the area that you were in? You have research on that area? I am looking for more on a how is it? A supernatural? Is that the right word? Kind of experiment that might have been there, performed specifically by Nazis." He reaches down into the Louis Vuitton bag to pull out some notes, and he starts like flipping through them. So I was doing a lot of research on specifically just the what was it, Reyes? How does it Reyes
Liza,
Riza project? It's
I
not how
think.
it's spelled, so it's so confusing.
It's German, yo. Nothing is how it's spelled. There's a whole new letter in that word.
Okay, so the Riza project. Um, I stumbled across some weird occult type things that I didn't think was pertinent because really that's not logical. But even Nora being into all of that kind of thought maybe we should also look into this further.
Sure.
So I looked into it further, and I cannot reveal sources, but
You can
I have
trust us.
so someone here in Poland who claims to have known somebody, a family member who was possibly a part of the weird happenings that were going on during this time. Real old dude, white hair, but he wasn't Polish. He was Russian. Anyway,
Really nice suit.
yeah.
Smelled vaguely like he keeps dogs.
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, he showed me some interesting notes. I don't know where he got them, but he showed me some interesting notes. I haven't been quite able to verify if these were accurate, but they essentially point to some kind of weird mystical energy force that was in that area, and that it seems like the Nazis were trying to use it to connect through lines of energy to two other areas that they claim to have taken over during World War II, one in Romania and one in Germany. And in order to do this, they use the blood of the innocent.
Right. I don't suppose he mentioned the reason for this.
He said that he wasn't that he just knows that like an ancestor of his or something was a part of it, and he just these notes he found once when cleaning out their home. We had to pay a
And
heck of a lot of money for him too.
and he didn't mention anybody else who was involved in this, either the operation or the victims.
No, he said he didn't know anything except what was in the notes.
The notes just mentioned the operation itself, none of the participants.
No, just the notes were they looked like they were almost incomplete, and papers were slightly singed.
Yeah. All right, well, go on.
Well, that's all I got from it, really.
Do you have copies of these notes?
Yeah, he's looking at them. Yeah, I was able to take pictures. He has like printouts of pictures. Um and it gives rough estimates of where these other energy points, as they're called in the notes, in Romania and Germany could be.
Hmm. Snapping copies with my phone. Hmm. Okay. All right.
Yeah, oh, one more thing I do remember is it said something about how it needed to be the like blood specifically and of the innocent, but blood specifically to try to connect. And so it talked about using in order to try to connect to they used children from Romania.
I'm trying to remember. Are the lost ones Romanian or they're all Polish kids?
They're Polish.
Okay.
And Katzbar only said that he worked on the tunnels. He didn't.
That would have been neat. That would have been tidy. All right.
No,
No,
no, this goes deeper.
loose ends to follow. Well, those are locations that I can check out in the future.
Where are these on the map?
Hang on a second. I'm going to forward these to V
Okay,
back at the hotel. Be like, can you do a cross examination of this and get me some more precise details on the locations?
sure.
All right.
Um, William, why don't you tell me? You mentioned you are of Dragolescu bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell me more about that. What does that mean?
I look at Maxwell. None of this is worth remembering. Not after tonight.
He just goes back to his notes.
Uh, I take it you're not familiar with us?
No, to my knowledge, no, there hasn't been nothing like that here in Poland. And I
Mm.
have never been anywhere else.
The Dragolescu are descended from Ion Dragolescu. He was a spiritualist, or so I gather. Very interested in ghosts and the like.
Well,
He was embraced by a Ventrue after being chased out of his home in Romania, and he met a Ventrue on the way
So
who
he is from Romania.
I believe so, because here's the interesting part. Apparently, he is the several generations away bastard progeny of Vlad Tepes, Dracula.
Well, then that must be it.
Well, maybe. It's the Dragolescu can see ghosts. He pursued a career with the Ordo and, to a lesser extent, with the Invictus because of his pedigree. I'm sure the local Ventrue were just pleased as punch that a Dracula was a Ventrue.
Uh,
And
while you're talking, Maxwell just shoots a piece of paper up in front of your face.
anyway, I continue telling her as I'm reading it.
So the paper talks about it's his specific notes about different kind of like artifacts that and like weird occult things that the Nazis were said to. Like one is the Spear of Destiny, one is Die Clock, you know.
Der Glocken.
Diglock, yeah. And then there is one that is and I'm sorry if I mispronounce this, but Print al Zajuli.
Not familiar with that.
It's referenced as a dagger that would have been used. This is not historical, by the way.
Oh, okay. I was about to be like, Google.
No, it's not historical. I made it up.
Okay.
It's a it's
For the sake of understanding this, should we roll my occult?
plus
Because
intelligence.
Kevin might not know, but William might just be better at the occult than Kevin. So yeah, that'd be intelligence
Intelligence.
plus occult. So that is 8. I don't think this falls under the purview of ghost, superstition, or chrysalis. So no bonus dice, but 9 again. So 8 with 9 again.
That was good. I mean, in occult rituals sometimes that specific kinds of daggers are said to be used.
Sure, a thame, what have you.
Yeah, so I mean if you think about it, this dagger, it's a Romanian dagger. The wording is Romanian, which is in the notes there. Maxwell had translated it to mean yeah, crap. I forgot what it means. Hold on. Hold on. uh, blood print.
Blood what?
Prince. Or like Prince of Blood.
Aha. Is there any note about how old this dagger is?
It's like centuries old.
Oh, I'm just wondering if the time coincides with the, 1431 to 1476. The lifetime of Vlad the Impaler.
It goes a little bit prior to Vlad the Impaler.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna thank you, Maxwell. Anyway, he committed some very foul diablerie and the like in his pursuit of trying to understand the fundamentals of the hunger that all kindred experience. The idea was that blood is merely a medium for vampires. There's some energy behind it that we feed on. And he attuned himself and all of his progeny, myself included, so that we are able to see, interact with, and feed from the dead.
If they were trying to reach other loci in Romania and Germany from this one, then maybe we need your blood to try and reach it and undo what was done.
That's what I was thinking. Blood sympathy.
And we're going to need this dagger.
Ah,
Little boy. She looks at Maxwell.
that's you, Max.
I need you to go on the computer. The 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 computer. Yes, that's called computer. And I need you to find this dagger. Find it. I
Maxwell,
mean,
can you help us find the latest location or rumored location of the dagger, please?
yeah, I mean, I can try, but that's gonna be a little. Does anyone have a computer? Yes, in that room there.
This is a
It was
computer, Maxwell.
2005. Your phones weren't that fancy back then.
You're so correct. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I hold up a brick. It's this, Maxwell.
It's like, what? Did you get hit in the head?
It
What?
plays Snake and it sends texts, and I have Minitel.
Oh my god.
So,
And it glows a color when it lights up.
simpler times.
Seriously.
When a cell phone had a
I
damaged
mean,
build.
like, you could go on the internet if you had like a BlackBerry and stuff, but that was just so shitty.
I seem to recall we talked about it. We do have Blackberries, but they are shit. Yes, you're
Yeah,
absolutely
it's so
correct. The
shitty.
computer is better.
He'd be better on a computer. All right, so he goes in. You hear the dial up. No, I'm just kidding.
And with
Welcome.
enhanced senses, like the werewolves and vampires of the room are just like,
Welcome. You've got mail.
somewhere in Chicago, Louis is doing the same thing, just going, "Mm."
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right. So he's researching that. So then, well, I am born here in Poland. So my blood should be fine for this loci. We need somebody tied to the one in Germany.
you've got me, if that counts.
How are you tied to Germany?
Well, uh, Ion Dragolescu decided that, well, he went insane. He thought that Hitler was the second coming of the dragon because of all the death he was raining down, and became a Nazi sympathizer, which didn't go very well in England, where he was staying. And he was, well, he was going to be tried, but he killed all the people pursuing him. He was eventually captured. And at his trial, he laid down a prophecy saying that one of his brood would bring about the end of the world. Feel very eerie now. Uh, yeah, something along those lines. So there's a German connection there. Think that's enough?
I don't. Not that doesn't feel right.
So you want me to recruit somebody from Germany to come back here?
Well, what about your friends here? It's got to be one of you.
Do we have to be German, or do we have to be... Hey, Nux,
Yeah. What? I'm not German.
was your sire?
I've, I don't know. I don't even know really who he was.
Well, I'm not Romanian, but my sire's sire was.
Yeah, well, like I said, I don't know who he fucking was. He was almost frenzying, but just at that brink,
Okay.
bit me, was held back, had his wrist slit, and they focused him enough somehow to turn me into whatever, you know. So I don't know, maybe he was.
I don't know if you're willing to gamble with this, Celestia.
You get
Juliet?
a text message, Juliet. No, I'm actually French.
You fooled me.
Oh, well, I was when I was human.
What about your
But
sire?
that's Nux.
Right. I always forget your gangrel. You're so well put together. Nux? The fuck does that mean?
I'm standing right here.
I know. I know.
I was gonna have him be like, "Thank you. I thought so too." As in he
As
took it
yeah.
that you were talking to him. Because he's
Damn right.
that narcissistic. Oh, damn right, I'm put together. So you get a
Maxwell.
text message from V
Ooh,
with it says that the coordinates don't match up actually, but that like if you shift either the latitude or the longitude or whatever just slightly, like there are places that like just slightly, like it could be in this general area.
notable locations in that
Yeah,
general
yeah,
region.
notable locations in the general region. Um, and Nux is looking over your shoulder. Well, shit.
What do you know?
I mean, that general area of Germany. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it's pretty familiar because that's where I was taken captive and made what I am.
look at Celestine.
So I mean, same with Juliet though, so it could be either. What was your perception again?
Oh, 8 with 8 again.
Almost exceptional, not quite.
Thank goodness.
Uh, uh, when Nux is like same with Juliet, he like points at her and like he sort of sideways glances at her, and she just like looks at him and like kind of like gives like that knowing like you know that picture of Leonardo DiCaprio from Inception where he's like it's like that but not as exaggerated. It was very subtle, and he's just like, I mean, yeah, it's probably I'll do it. I'll do it.
Do what?
Whatever the connection to 45 minutes.
Do 1 minutes. So,
Um so yeah, I'll do it whatever it to the I'll be the connection the connection then.
is there a particular reason Juliet's?
Are you
I
saying
mean,
this out loud?
I am muttering it to him very on the sly. Is there a particular reason she's so uncomfortable about that?
That, my friend, is a long story that we're gonna have to go over later.
Fair enough. Okay.
Just then Maxwell comes in and says that he actually found there is a collector who happens to live here in Poland that likes to collect rare and weird occult type items and artifacts. And he has recently just acquired the Print Sajuli
Mm.
dagger.
Well, how do you like
And
that?
he's actually throwing a party in celebration of finally getting this rare artifact. And it's supposed to be it's like the like one of the parties of the year, big soiree. He always like this guy is like super hoity-toity, super rich. And from what Maxwell found is every time he gets like some super rare artifact, he likes to lord it over all of his other collector friends.
An unveiling.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ooh.
And it's here in Poland. It's going to be at his mansion in Lower Silesia area. So like not actually far from where you guys are. Um so Celestine stands up and she says she says that you're distracting me. Stop typing.
I'm sorry.
Um, so she stands up and she says, okay, I think this is all making sense now. It's all coming, it's all forming a picture in my mind of what needs to be done. It needs to be me, you, and the crazy hair one over there.
Let-
Nux
Oh,
is just like this is called style.
crazy. Rose, we need you. Fuck off. You look like Susie and the Banshees. Anyway.
um, but what I'm sensing is we need to get this dagger, but we can't use any of our kindred gifts. We have to do it as human as possible because it was kindred who caused the horrors to happen to the innocent that tainted the locus.
Okay. Well, I brought a good suit. How long do we have until this little soiree?
The soiree is tomorrow night.
Okay. How much time do we have until sunrise?
So you've got a few hours, like enough to go get clothes or make some preparations if you want.
And how
Try to
long
figure
would...
out how to get a fake invitation.
Oh, let's see. I believe I have a merit. Back in the day, it was like velvet rope or barfly or something like that. But you could basically... I never bought that. Never mind. I'm a twat. So please, yes. Okay.
Shame on you.
Shame on me.
Put that down as something you're gonna need to buy now.
Wish list.
How
All
dare?
right. How dare?
How dare?
Because I was dating a deva.
Yeah, but you're not dating her anymore. Or
I
well,
know. Well,
maybe you still are. We don't know. You
you
haven't
know.
talked to her in a while.
Yeah, I shouldn't
Uh,
have
so
pissed.
maybe you still are, but she's not here.
Yep, it's all true.
She's in a whole
Okay,
other continent.
I hear you. But I do have a contact that might help with this.
Oh,
Yes. I am going to place a call to Professor William Eddings
that.
at the University of Chicago. He was my teacher and mentor back when I was studying at the University of Chicago. He's the uh, sort of occult antiquarian guy. Does not know for sure that the supernatural exists. He's this charming old dude. He's shown up in Erica's game. He's this charming old dude who used to go on archaeological digs, and he's got a really nice little private
What
collection
does
in his
he sound
house.
like?
An old man who's very kindly.
Oh boy. Okay.
Less whippersnapper and much more just warm, intelligent old
It's gonna
guy.
be a challenge. All right.
You'll do fine. It's nothing complicated. There's no dialectics. He's just, oh, how are we? It's good to see you too. That kind of guy. He's
I
not
know,
like,
but I
would you
don't know if
like
I
a
can.
Werther's? He's not that
Yeah,
guy.
well, that I can do that, but I don't know if I can get my I don't know if I can get my voice to do the other thing.
Just picture a nice grandpa with no grandkids that we know
Yeah,
of.
I
Anyway,
get my voice to do that.
so Professor Eddings, he likes to think the supernatural is true. He's got a couple of like old swords and daggers and stuff from a feud between a crusader and a Middle Eastern assassin from back in the day that supposedly were like mystically imbued, but he's never seen any evidence of it. If and he William was like his favorite student, and Eddings was his favorite teacher. And when things turned for William, Eddings was still able to help him get some measure of like work and connection and stuff. But Eddings, if you told him William was a vampire, he wouldn't be like, that's impossible. He'd be like, that adds up. So they're real, huh?
Are you going to tell him you're a vampire?
No.
Oh, because I was going to say, hello, masquerade.
Masquerade! No, that's not it. No, not at all. But he's very well connected in the occult oddities circles. So he would probably know of this party. If this dude is an avid collector of weird, like occult stuff, then he would know about it.
Know about the party?
Yeah. And he might know somebody who can help me get in, assuming he can't himself, which is up to you. So that's what I've got.
All right, so you call him?
Yes.
Might be like, oh, I guess if it's nighttime here, it'll be middle of the day in Chicago.
Probably. He does tend to keep odd hours. He's got that old people never sleep attitude.
Okay.
Did you ever see the Da Vinci Code movie?
Yes.
You remember Ian McKellen in that?
Yes.
Think that, but not British.
Okay. He was a bad guy, but okay.
He ended up being a bad guy, yes. Depending on how you judge the morality of that movie. Not that I
Anyway,
really liked it that
but
much. Anyway, come on.
we're tangenting too much. We don't got lots of time
So
left.
we do
Okay.
not have a lot of time.
We've got lots to do.
Yes.
All right. So, okay. So you call Professor Eddings.
Hello, Professor.
Does he have your number?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. William. To
I
what
have.
do I owe the pleasure?
Well, I wish I could say it was purely for one of our chats, but I was wondering if you might be able to help me out with something.
And what might that be?
Well, I found myself in Poland on a little bit of an archaeological treasure hunt, and it just so happens that I need to speak with. Did we get this guy's name?
Oh, yeah. The article said his name. I didn't tell you his name, but it's Bartosz Twakowski. Twakowski.
Are you familiar with Bartosz Zurkowski?
Twakowski.
Twarkowski?
Twakowski.
Twa? Twa?
Twakowski.
Twa?
It's SU, the L with the thing, which makes a W sound, and then Kowski.
Swakowski?
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, I am. He's more of a collector than an actual archaeologist. He likes to really just lord his collection over everyone.
That sounds about right. Well, I understand he recently acquired a piece which I need to at least examine. I don't suppose you've got any tips for how to get into his gala tomorrow night?
Well, a colleague of mine is in Poland, and she might be on the guest list.
Hmm. Any chance you could put me in touch with her?
I could give her a call and see if she'd be willing to take just you or
Hopefully a few others, but take what we can get. With Celestine.
she's like, I don't care. Um Well, let me put out that call to her and see what I can do for you.
Thank you.
You were always one of my favorite students. I do hope you come back soon.
I'd like to. I've got some incredible pieces to show you.
Rose is sitting there just chuckling behind her phone.
I am in no way embarrassed. I love him and I loved being a student and I still
No,
technically do.
she's chuckling about you going back to school.
Shit, yeah. I'd totally go back to school. I've got eternity.
Uh, all right, well, let me make that call for you. And good luck on your explorations in Poland.
Thank you very much. All right. Here we go.
So, do you want to get Nux a suit?
I mean, we're gonna have to.
Yeah.
I'm going to, say Juliet, Rose. I'm not sure how many of us are going to be able to get in there, but we're probably all going to have to be dressed to the nines.
Yeah.
So,
So V can probably work on getting clothes for all of you, plus Piotr and although Piotr says he's gonna stay behind because he wants to watch the humans.
that's fair.
Um,
You don't get much safer than having a werewolf for a bodyguard until, they get angry and kill everything.
or hungry for some of them.
Assuming that's their problem. But we digress.
Well, apparently in Poland is a problem for a lot of them.
All
Anyway,
right.
you don't know if Piotr is one of them. Anyway,
He
moving on.
hangs out with vampires.
That doesn't mean he doesn't eat people.
I'm saying it means he
He's in
probably
good
does.
I would say he's in good company.
Bad habits.
Anyway, but Celestine would like to go if she can.
Mm.
Juliet says that her and Rose don't have to go.
If
Um,
if we can make it, let's make it. If we can't, we've
yeah.
got an order of priority.
So we'll
All right.
say a few hours go by, V is able to get the clothes for you. And right before you're about to go to sleep, you get a phone call from a number you do not recognize.
Hello.
Oh, is this a William Ravelowe?
It is.
Hello, my name is Magda. Let's think of a last name.
Kensington,
Maya's Magda Kensington Stone.
Love you.
Um, we have a friend in common.
Professor Eddings.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes, Professor Eddings, and he informed me that you are a student of archaeology, which I think is just absolutely wonderful.
Yes, it's my understanding that there's a gala tomorrow night, and I really hate to impose on a friend I haven't made yet, but I don't
Since,
I don't suppose you could use a +1 to more at said gala.
well, I am able to bring a guest or two.
Can you make it two? I'd
I
be.
I can make it two, but unfortunately, that's all I can make.
Oh, I really do appreciate it.
Yes, it's going to be quite exciting. This artifact he's unveiling is very old.
No,
It's
I've heard
old
of.
as balls.
Damn it. Magda, you're okay. Um, no, that's absolutely. It actually connects with a certain investigation of my own, relating between Poland and Romania and Germany right now. So I'd love to, include you in whatever findings we end up publishing about it.
Ooh, that would be very exciting.
Hmm. Well, excellent. Shall we meet you there? Um,
Where are you staying? I can have a car pick you up at your hotel.
oh, that's fantastic. Yes, we're at the. I don't remember.
I forgot what hotel you guys
Yeah,
were at.
exactly.
You're at some hotel in
Yeah.
which is actually like about an hour and a half away from here. You don't forget you're in this little cottage.
Yep. Absolutely. Shall we say around pick a time that works for you, GM?
Tea.
Just facilitating that storytelling.
Yep, 6:30. All right,
Heck.
so she'll pick you up at the hotel. I think it was Hotel Monopole.
Hmm.
And at 6:30 the following evening.
Excellent. Excellent. Nux, you're not going to need that suit.
Why can't I go?
Well, Celestine's got to go, and I've got to go, and she can bring two, and that's the math.
Oh,
And
no.
and we can't use our abilities
No,
apparently.
no. I know you're just gonna have to use me for my body later. What else is new?
Oh, Nux.
So the sun is coming up. You do notice that the floor in there's two bedrooms. One bedroom, it looks like that would be Piotr's bedroom. Smells like wolf and man. And that's where Eva Nora is resting. Um, and that's also where the computer was. And then the other room is a little more simpler, but you'll notice the floor is dirt. And there's no windows in that room.
Earth melding it
So,
is.
yeah, all of you can kind of, all five of you vampires can go on in there.
I'd like to lie with you, Evelyn. Sorry.
It's okay.
Can we
All right.
marathon the Embraced soon?
Yes, we have to.
Good.
Anyway, so moving on. So we'll go to the next night. We'll say you guys wake up as soon as the sun goes down. You had told V to come pick you up. So she's gonna pick up you and Celestine to take you to the hotel so you could be picked up by Magda.
All right. Excellent. All right. Then get my Earth meld on.
So yep. So we'll say we just are gonna shoot through all of the V picks you up, gives you guys clothes, you guys change, look all pretty. It's a hotel, a limo picks you up. Magda is in the back seat when the driver opens up. She's like a tiny woman. She's probably maybe about like 4'3". And she's got like an elaborate evening gown on. It's like a royal blue with some like flecks of green in it, and there are some like stones on it to like accent it. And then she's got the long evening gloves. No tiara, but her hair is like nice and curly, old lady curly, gray but kind of almost purple. And her makeup is done tastefully.
All right.
And she's got different kinds of jewels on.
All right. Okay.
When you get in the car. So I'm assuming that you are William. And
Very much.
who is this charming woman?
My companion, Celestine.
Oh, pleasure to meet you, dear. Are you also an archaeologist? Talk.
Something of a historian, I think. Parallel fields.
What he said. Oh, well, all right. What history do you study? I study back to when my family was first in Poland about 500 years ago.
Local
Oh,
lore.
I see.
Mythology, spiritualism of Eastern Europe.
Oh, well, that all sounds very interesting. I look forward to hearing more later.
And you, Miss Kensington Stone.
Oh, um, well, I deal with I know this isn't uh necessarily a good thing to talk about, but my area of expertise is World War II and World War One.
Very nice.
In terms of history, and I like to look at the different kinds I've been trying to hunt down the different kinds of artifacts that have gone missing during those times.
Really? I'm at this point, I've been escorting her back in the car, riding along, and I'm
Yeah.
careful not to
Um,
crease my Ermenegildo Zegna suit.
Jesus.
So,
Okay, so you guys continue to talk, and
all
you
right.
pull up to this like elaborate stone mansion that it's almost looks castle-like. Um, there's a drive that you go through, a gate, a long drive, and then like the driveway like wraps around in front of the house. It's lit up like a fairy castle almost. Um, and then as you're about to get out, Magda goes, "Oh, how silly of me! I forgot to tell you. He wanted this to be a masquerade ball, but I've made sure to bring masks for the two of you.
I am very well accustomed with masquerades, madam.
So she puts on a white mask that's kind of got like feathers coming out of it and almost like a beak like a bird and some gold like sparkles. She hands you a mask that's black with some like red around, but it's just like a regular like mask, like doesn't cover the nose, and she hands Celestine a mask that's got like feathers. Like
Nice.
blue, green, and brown feathers.
Thank you so much.
Of course. You are my guests. I must take care of you.
So I will offer an arm to each lady and lead up the presumably red carpet.
No, not a red carpet, but
The metaphorical red carpet.
the marble stairs in front of this
Oh,
elaborate mansion.
ooh woo.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, so when you walk in, the foyer is like huge. There are two like rounded marble staircases that go up to like a balcony. There is a red carpet that goes down the center. Uh, through in the back, there's like double doors that open down a long hallway, which you are led down, that goes to the back of the house that has a huge ballroom. All the walls are covered with windows, and there are chandeliers, and there's like waiters walking around with drinks and hors d'oeuvres, and there's some tables set up with like food and like fountains of like punch, and just think as fancy as you freaking can, and that is this masquerade ball. There's a live like string quartet band playing.
When there's a moment that I can whisper very quietly to Celestine, when you said we can't use our abilities, I take it you also mean we can't feed.
We are all definitely not that. Definitely not that.
Okay. We should do that when we leave, though.
Okay.
We haven't had time to feed in the past few days, and I'm starting to feel the crunch.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm down to 6 vitae and 2 plasm.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So, all right.
So sitting at there's like tables all around, but then there's like a little like stage that's up, and the quartet band is playing like to the right at the low bottom of the stage. It's like not a huge stage, it's like maybe like I don't know, like 2 feet above the ground. And there's like like a long table that's kind of like, you know how like a wedding party sits at like a table where it's like they all sit and they face everybody. That's the table, and standing up on the stage in front of the table, you see and you recognize him from the newspaper clipping that Max gave you, is was it uh
Bartosz
Bartosz Swukowski. Swukowski.
Swakowski.
Swukowski.
It's burned into my memory now. All right.
Like kind of a bigger man, and he's wearing an extremely fancy suit with like a red cummerbund. His mask looks like it's like painted gold, but the way he's kind of like trying to hold his head up, parts of it may be real gold.
I'm picturing like sort of a carved beard effect and like, a Macedonian god kind of
Like a
thing.
huge It's a huge mask, and he's got like this like elaborate coat that's like white and gold, and it's got the tails, and
Yeah.
the pants that like pinch at the knee with the socks, and he's also wearing like gloves. He's just unbelievably over the top.
How is he not kindred? Um, somebody out there is like, we should embrace him. Look at him. What else is he gonna do? So, okay. I am going to take the time to let's see. I'm going to use my trivia hound
Okay.
That's intelligence plus wits to try to remember some kind of random factoid about this guy that might provide me an opening.
Okay.
Excuse me. So that's intelligence plus wits. That's 8.
Um, I'm thinking.
You could save it for when we're having a conversation with them, just something I can slip in there.
Okay.
I also let's see. So I'm gonna wait until he's like showing off something from his collection to sort of infiltrate the conversation.
Okay. Yeah. Around the room, there are like glass cases that have all sorts of different artifacts. You notice most of them are weapons, which triggers your memory that he his fascination was specifically with medieval kind of weaponry for the most part, but he also is very interested in any kind of like occult weapons that would have been used in rituals. So that's why this dagger is so important to him.
All right. I am going to sort of make the rounds wherever there's a where if I can hear a
Oh,
conversation.
yeah, and another thing you remember is that he claims to have the real Excalibur, but he never lets anyone see it for fear that someone will steal it.
Okay, well, first Excalibur was the second sword. The first one was Caliburn, and that was the more important one. So he's fake. I'm leaving. No. Okay. So I'm probably wrong about that.
I was gonna
Uh
say, I don't think that sounds right, but okay.
yeah, but the kind of person who talks like that is usually wrong. So, okay, I'm going to find conversations. If he's not having one right now, I'm going to find people like talking about this thing, and I'm going to use taste, which I have 8 dice for, to try to find insights and nifty info and factoids about items to impress people at the party. If I can
Okay,
build
he's
up a little bit of credit, I could, be the darling.
sure. So what he's doing is he's showing off in one of the cases, he's showing off like a tool that was used in ancient Egypt for like the embalming that they used to do. But he says that this tool was specifically only used on pharaohs, and it was especially for embalming, like, royalty.
Mhm.
And you can see that some of the people he's talking to are like feigning interest, like, "Oh yes, of course. It's amazing that you were able to get this rare artifact." And then there are some that are just like clearly like, You're embarrassing us and yourself."
Uh,
Um,
can I get that 8 dice just to see if I can, like, buff my stuff?
yeah, I'm rolling your 8 dice actually for perception right now.
Ooh.
You also notice that there is a man who he's wearing a plain black mask. And he's wearing a very nice suit, but he did not dress for a masquerade. It's like he dressed for a party and put a mask on that he could have bought at like Party City. Um,
That's too bad.
yes. He is standing sort of to the front of the room in the corner. Um, and he is just looking around the room, and you can see that he makes eye contact with a few other people who are also not dressed to the nines. Um, and they kind of like all just kind of like look at each other. Um, they'll touch like somewhere on their face, and then they will go ahead and the next person will look to somebody.
I'm gonna use my, I mean, that's pretty clear, but just to keep it neat and tidy, I'm gonna use my wits plus empathy, try to get a gauge on what they're going for. That is 7 dice.
Um, you. It just seems like they are trying to communicate just a notice of who's here and who's in the area.
Okie dokie. Let's see. Can I use all right, yeah. So if I'm at the area where he's showing off his royal embalming knife, uh let's see. I want to use a combination of like trivia, taste, academics, and charm to try
Okay.
to sort of seduce this guy into liking me.
Okay.
Not like, lick your lips seduction, but
Right, but like, yeah, no, like win him over, charm him.
yeah, be his
So,
favorite new friend at this party.
okay, so how about we do I mean, I guess socialize plus
Um,
your presence?
Probably. Could I do a wits plus empathy first to get an idea of what feeds this guy?
Okay, so you want 8? It was
Wits
8.
plus
Oh no,
empathy is
7.
7. That's 7.
Um Feeding his ego is what I mean, you have to get on his, making him feel like he is so great and powerful.
Does he realize these people aren't impressed with him?
No.
Okay. Would he notice if they were more impressed with him?
Uh you think he would.
Okay. All
Like
right.
like he thinks everybody thinks he's great. That's just the impression you got from him. But someone who's actually going to like really hardcore blow smoke up his ass, you get the feeling he would listen to them because he'd be like, "Oh yes, yes, tell me about how great I am. Yes, I already know, but
I'm
let
gonna
me hear it."
I'm going to try to establish that I am a competent authority to blow smoke so that he
Okay.
values my smoke more.
All right. So you want to roll your presence plus socialize?
I'd like to do taste first.
Okay.
So 8.
Okay, so what does this do again?
It provides me with insights about an object. In this case, I'm using it kind of like an antiquities thing.
Oh, okay.
Um,
This is, I mean, so would you be able to tell like if this is legitimate?
and if it is legitimate, is there anything special about it?
Okay,
Or
so
and if
it
it's
is a
fake, is there
legit.
anything special?
It's not fake. It is an actual embalming tool artifact that came from ancient Egypt, but there's no way or proof to know that like I mean like using tools on just the pharaohs, that's not as far as I know. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's not something that was like done.
If
Like they had their tools and that was it. So this is a legitimate tool and yeah, it could have been used on a pharaoh or a 2 or 3.
my
But
my question is there anything specifically different or interesting or cool about this particular piece or its origin or anything I can latch on to?
uh I well, we could say it came from a specific pharaoh. Like you could tell it came from a time of a specific pharaoh. Uh,
Do you want me to make some cool stuff up?
yep.
Okay.
I'll let you go. I'll let you run with it. Pick a
Gotcha.
pharaoh. Pick a pharaoh and run. Run with it.
All right. So let's see. Okay. So, as he's talking, I'll step forward. Just may I?
Oh, and who might you be, young sir?
William Ravelowe, lately of the University of Chicago.
Oh, all the way from America, huh?
Yes, but my work takes me all over the world.
I see. And what brings you to my party? Excited to see this new artifact that I have acquired.
I'm sorry, what's his last name again?
Swokowski.
Well, of course, but the Swakowski collection is famous worldwide. And finding out I was in the neighborhood working on another dig, and then finding out this gala is happening at the same time, how could I miss it?
Yes, it is. It's very exciting. Yes.
Very. That's a beautiful Joseon dynasty knife. That's to
You
think
recognize the dynasty.
absolutely.
That's very
Furthermore,
impressive.
I'm surprised that you would say it's so minor as to be used on a pharaoh. Your modesty does you incredible credit.
Yes, I don't like to brag.
Then allow me to brag on your behalf. I turn to the archaeologists and historians and collectors and whatnot and say, this isn't necessarily a pharaonic knife. Notice the slight indentations here, the alternate curvature of the blade right there. This was more important. This was designed for the pharaoh's cats. Now you have to understand that a pharaoh would have the finest tools, of course, but cats were the guardians of the soul. They were the escorts. It was more important that they were taken proper care of than the pharaoh themselves. And so the precision you see along here, that detail, you'll notice in your average mummification knife that there's a certain amount of crackleture. These, no warping whatsoever. The finest, sharpest, keenest edge, especially because it was so much finer a process for such a smaller and somewhat alien being compared to a human. And the Egyptians had their own brain surgery techniques, so you can imagine just how finite a process this is. This is a precision piece and very hard to find these. How did you come by it?
Oh, I find many things through auctions or through my archaeological digs. Yes, you see, I have an eye for the very important type of artifacts. I told you all.
You must. My God. It's not just a good eye, it's the ability to tell the difference between what's special and what's unique. Ah, cuts right through the materialistic nature of archaeology, don't you think, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, they all agree. Some of them are like clapping for your like assessment of the object.
I'm like, oh, no, please indicate our host.
And they're all like, "Oh yes, of course."
If
Right
one of
then.
them is rolling their eyes and I can get away with it, I'm just like,
I'll let that slide. Um, so you hear a bell rings, and Bartosz goes, "Ah, yes, it's time for the dinner to begin, and then we will have the unveiling of my new artifact."
as he starts moving, I sort of just pick up the step with him. So I'm given to understand this is the I can't pronounce that thing you said dagger.
Print, print al, I can't even pronounce it.
The prince of
Sajuli.
the prince of
It's
blood.
Yeah, it's the blood prince, prince of blood, roughly translated. Yeah.
So you managed to acquire, let alone find, the blood prince dagger.
Yes.
It's
It
amazing to
was
find.
through it was through top secret expedition, but now, I mean, I can talk. You'll read about it in the paper that I publish.
It's a very important key to an even bigger case. You must be honored to be a part of that. I'm sort of trying to bait him into thinking this isn't the crown jewel,
That the dagger is not the crown jewel.
that it's a link in a chain leading to a treasure chest.
Oh, yes, it was a very exciting find.
Indeed. It seems almost a shame it'll be all locked up here when it could have been used for what was at the end of the trail. Still, the amount of history in it, I applaud you, sir. That is
Oh
on
yeah,
me.
yes, I do. I do know. I am gonna continue to find what is at the end of the trail.
So you're familiar with the train.
Of course.
That's excellent. How come we haven't met sooner?
Oh well, I'm very busy.
Oh, I imagine so, but I mean, we're right at the edge of potentially finding the stolen insides of the Amber Room.
Yeah, yes, that is why I know that this dagger is the Amber Room. You say.
The Amber Room, sir. I mean, I'm fairly sure that they'd want most of it back, but for the most generous contributor, I'm sure a panel or two could certainly find its way into your collection. I mean, assuming that would be of interest to you, I don't know where you'd fit it. They're so huge. And this is such a
I could I
beautiful
couldn't
collection as it is.
I could not keep that. I'd have to give that back.
Sir, can you imagine the gratitude of its return? Just a little piece for the most important
I
benefactor?
mean, just the notoriety alone. What do you know about this? How does the dagger play into it?
Well, how come we haven't spoken before? Because I am literally just the other day found the chambers that are supposed to unlock the location, but it links into Romania and Germany. But we should have heard from you. My assistant would have told me if you were sending us the dagger. Did she make a mistake again?
Be my assistant didn't hear about it.
You want to talk about chains? The weakest link is always the assistant.
Agreed. We should have just met together.
You should absolutely display the dagger. It is such an incredible find, and I would never deny you the glory. My God, and yet, the possession of the physical artifact never seems to mean as much as a name in an article, you
Well,
know?
I tell you what. My lawyer is here, and we will. I have guests, so we have to
Of
display
course,
the dagger.
of
But
course.
once the party is over, we can sign paperwork. Well, you can take the dagger to find this train you speak of, but I must get credit.
Of course. Everybody knows that you own the dagger, and the dagger is an essential part of it. It would be foolish at best not to include your name because even the most basic layman could do the research to understand it. The only alternative would be that I'm a thief. I say just old and just loud enough that one of these masked dudes is like,
Oh, they're not talking into earpieces.
oh, okay.
They're not security.
Oh, I don't think they're
Um,
security, but I do get the impression maybe they're here like looking for crap. I've stolen enough crap to know my kind.
okay.
These guys
Um,
reek of thief.
all right. Well, okay. Yes, and of course, I we can work out details of how much credit you get and compensation and all of that. But
Of
you
course.
understand that because I found the dagger, a majority goes to me.
Of course. I mean, the dagger is a crucial component. Of course, we'll have to consider the shares that we have with the Kemet collection and, of course, the University of Cairo. And then, of course, there is the Schachenjager University in Berlin. But, I mean, just having your name next to them, that's akin to being a pharaoh oneself.
Oh. Um. Okay, so we're running short on time.
Yeah,
I wanted to get you to this one spot.
sure.
So, but I think that you did very well talking
I'm,
to
hav-
him. So
I'm
we'll
having a
say
great
that
time.
the dinner happens. You guys can eat or not. Um. Uh. After everyone, all the guests have left, you're
He
taken
unveils
into yeah.
who he
He
is.
unveils everybody, yay yay yay, and then once the party is over, Bartosz takes you and Celestine, who you could say is your assistant that screwed it up.
Damn it,
Um.
Celestine. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
into his office where you'll sign some paperwork that says like he's gonna let you have this dagger, um, but that if anything that comes of it, you have to, give it to him. And should you steal it, you will not only be fined an exorbitant amount of money, but you'll be thrown in jail for the rest of your life. And that I'm assuming you'd have to put down something as collateral. He wouldn't just let you walk out with the dagger.
Well, I mean, if he knows who I am and he can, confirm that, then it's given out on loan. So
That's
it's
true.
it's
Okay.
not
So
necessarily a
yeah.
matter of collateral. It's more like if you steal it, you're an international criminal and Interpol will come after you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's all said and done. You sign it. He lets you have the dagger. It's in a nice little carrying case to keep it safe. Um um so we'll say that you contacted Nux or V to go get Nux to bring him so that you guys can go ahead and start this ritual.
Okay. So nothing
All right.
happened with suspicious dudes?
Not that you know of.
Hmm. All right.
Um, okay, so V collects Juliet, Rose, and Nux and meets you at the gate to the park. She stays with the car, and you guys go ahead to the nest. Oh, and Pitor comes with as well. Um, she, we'll say that she got like a van. Um, and it was all right to let while you guys were at the party, she went with Maxwell and Eva Nora to a hospital to take Eva Nora to a hospital, um so that she could get better treatment. So Piotr, all of you guys are there. V is going to stay with the car. You walk over to where the like sewer drain entrance was to get to the supposedly where the train was. You all climb in. It opens up into like the tunnel that has like the broken tracks and broken boxes, some scattered weapons. Dusty, oh, there goes Kevin. So close to the end. And he's back.
Back almost there. All
Um,
right.
so you get to the room where Brittany and Todd were found dead, and you guys can start to feel a little lightheaded. But Celestine takes the dagger, she slices her hand, hands it to you and Nux.
Can
Nux
we say that?
slices.
Can we say I've stopped to feed in the time
Oh
between?
yeah, yeah. You
Okay,
guys fed.
thank
Yeah,
you.
you fed at the party and everything happened. So
Otherwise, I'm
everyone's
like,
fed.
I can't spare this.
Um, so right, so she has you guys stand in the middle of the room in a circle, and you hold out, like you squeeze the blood out of your hands
Mm.
into the center. She starts chanting in Polish, so you don't understand what she's saying. But as she is chanting, you can hear the cries of children and the slitting of throats. You hear horses, and you can almost sort of see the vision of what you think could it's blurry, but you think it could be Vlad Tepish. And you can hear Nux scream out in agony and Josephine just smirk. And you can hear Juliet crying far away, and you can feel you can sort of see it, and you think you but it also feels like it's your hand being cut off, but it's really Nux's. Except his hand is fine. You guys are standing there with your hands over the thing, and as she's chanting, you can feel the room spinning and spinning, and all of these visions just start to blur and come together. And up from the center, you can sense, and if you shift to your spirit sight, you'll see this big spirit that's got like gold chains all wrapped around it. And as you're chanting, he's like floating and like kind of like trying to fight back, but Celestine is able to continue chanting, and you also can see Piotr shift, and you see him like shift through, and if you go out, like he kind of like vanishes through the opening that has been come in the center of you guys.
Can I go
Um,
with?
you have to stay here.
Okay.
But after a few minutes, the spirit kind of like disappears and he comes back out, and the room feels,
Like the pressure is gone.
yeah, the pressure is gone,
Air's come in.
and you feel like you can think for a minute at least, or a few seconds at least. But then you hear the snarling and the growling and the like, and you can see coming from where you came, the entrance to this little room, like Rose and Juliet are still standing there. You and Nux and Celestine are standing around now where Piotr is. Coming from there and coming from the dark of the corners of the room, you can barely make out because it's very dark, but there are doors, and there's a door behind you, and coming out of them is this horde of these feral revenant kindred. And I'm gonna stop it there.
Nice. Open next time,
Uh,
presumably with combat.
yep.
Woo woo!
All right. So I didn't get quite as far as I wanted to, but that's a good stopping point.
Oh, I'm well pleased. This was very cool.
Good. I'm glad
Oh,
you liked it.
I'm having fun.
I'm glad you liked it.
Woo!
Um, so yeah, I know I fudged a lot of things in terms of like history and certain things with rituals, but that's okay. I'm the GM.
Ashley, I've been waiting 20 years to play a game like this, and I didn't think it would be this good.
Well,
You're the
thank you.
best.
Thank you. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Um, I would like to say a special thank you to one of my best friends, Lindsay, who helped me come up with some of these with the ideas for this particular adventure.
She's good.
Yeah, she gave me some ideas, and then me and her kind of like ran with it. But yes, special thank you to her. She helped me in a writer's block time of need. So,
As
uh,
always, we want to thank everybody who contributes to the show. That includes
yep,
Erica, our guardian angel and technical expert, every one of the artists and organizers that you will see in the end credits, which please send them
yes,
your business. They're fantastic.
yes.
And we want to thank you for
Yes,
being
thank
here.
you for being here and for watching. And if you like what you saw, come back and see us again in 2 weeks. You'll see Artemis's story continue. And you can follow us on Facebook. There's a link in like the about section down below, along with our Twitter and the YouTube channel to catch up on all the old episodes.
And this one will come up as soon as we can.
Yeah, and as soon as we download this one, this will be here as well.
And I believe this Tuesday,
Yes,
don't forget to tune in to Jerry at
Gary
Twitch,
at Twitch,
where two
where you can
senile,
see
horny old women play the Isle of Dread. It is something.
something. All right,
It is something.
it is something.
But it's a very different flavor from this. But as we expand our programming, you'll see a lot of stuff. Um, aside from that, anything we're forgetting? Don't forget to make the switch over as we change over
All
to
right.
third shift
Well,
reality
we're
plays.
staying on. Well, no, we were staying on this channel.
That's what I'm saying. Those of
This
you who
channel.
didn't
Those
know,
of you who were on the other channel for the Tooth and Claw realities, get off of that one and come follow this one, Third Shift Realities Plays.
that's right. This is where we're going to host all our stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so yeah, like, share, follow, sign, repeat,
Yep.
brainwash, submit, obey.
Yes.
And we love you all.
Yep. See you next time.